Hey guys, taking a little break from the basement and the Predictas to hang out in the garage and clear out some space. Still have a long ways to go. The goal is to be able to get to those shelves back there, maybe build another one or like an outdoor woodworking wood bench. This is what I've been using, and it's kind of outgrown itself. Especially now that I got some more tools like a bench grinder and a proper bench vise. Probably build a proper bench. And actually, I do have a table saw. I've only used it once or twice, though. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about was these two items. I think I've mentioned once or twice before about our favorite shop, or at least my favorite shop nearby, which is Habitat for Humanity's Restore resale shop. It's a combination of kind of surplus stuff. Stuff that's left over from construction remodeling projects, like when they rip out an old sink and put a new one in, they'll donate the old one there. But sometimes it's like projects didn't go right, things didn't fit right, and it ends up there. Or there's antiques. So this, we both hate our master bathroom vanity because it's basically just a sink, and it's a single molded piece. And it's like, it's wide and it's shallow. Like if you want to wash a baby, it's probably great. But there's nowhere to put your stuff. Like it ends kind of here. There's no counter space. And there are no drawers. Now, at the Restore shop a few years ago, I found they were selling just a unit just like this with nothing else. And I attached it to our vanity and threw in actually like a Teflon cutting board on top of it for some type of surface. But anyways, I'm always keeping my eye out for one that would fit into our space and have the sink on the right side and have drawers. And finally, I found it. $200, which for what it is, which is a real piece of granite with hardware, looks like it's barely been used, and a sink, and it has the backsplash. It's a separate piece I brought inside. I think I did all right. Now, what I wasn't aware of is how heavy it was, because I just backed up my car and they tossed it in the back, and it didn't seem like it was all that heavy until I got home and tried to get it out. And no, so I got a buddy who's pretty strong, and we got it out, and that was a beast. So to move it out of the car and move it about 5 feet, that was about all we could manage. The top is, I think it's just attached with like silicone construction adhesive to the cabinet. I'm hoping I can break that seal. Maybe I'll use a razor blade or something. I got a feeling, though, between the sink and the hardware and the slab of granite, that's where 95% of the weight is, and it's still going to be really friggin' heavy. So we got to get it up to a second floor, but we'll do our best. And I don't know if this was ever used, because this countertop is like pristine, and the hardware has no signs of wear, and the sink doesn't have any scuffs or anything. But this does, very much so. So I was wondering, did somebody just get a new countertop? And maybe it didn't work out, or maybe they decided to just replace the whole thing. Because this definitely, it needs to get repainted, refinished, whatever. And I'm also thinking it should get reinforced because it's just particle board, whatever, kind of cheap stuff. And with this weight on it, it's a little wobbly. But anyways, that's what's been going on with that. And then there's this, which I got a couple of years ago and just haven't gotten around to it. It's a nifty item. At first, I thought that this top piece was something somebody cobbled onto it, and maybe they did. But I was watching an old movie from the 40s, I think, and somebody had something that looked almost identical to this in the movie. Got me thinking, yeah, this may be, it was all built like this. What this thing is on top is a place like for your hats and gloves. It needs to be refinished. The top is basically like it's like a cathedral radio, and where that curved thin wood is up on top, it's split out. Otherwise, it's in pretty good shape. I don't like the hardware though; it's cheap and cheesy, so I might replace that. Otherwise, a little refinishing, a little gluing and clamping. That's a pretty nifty little period vintage dresser. I think it was $40 or something. Oh, here's the price tag on it. What did I plop down for this? 68, but I think it was on sale that day. They have sales just ought to be like 80% off. Anyways, Most of our stuff came from the shop. Oh, and that is my wife's lovely bicycle. It is a Sears bike, we think maybe from the 70s or even 60s. The whole thing is chrome, front to back. Very cool. And then there is a vintage Schwinn behind it. It's a little small for either one of us, but it was given to us for free, so here it sits. So at some point, when things settle down and it stops raining, I'm going to be taking a break away from the TVs. Hopefully maybe in one day or one weekend, and get this sucker upstairs and installed.